Yeah, first of all, thanks, Vijay, for having me here. It's a pleasure being here in midst of such a great, talented people. Yeah. So coming to your question, Vijay, one of the things that, especially the global capabilities centers that are getting established here in India, generally, when global capability centers recruit people, they recruit people on experience basis. So 95% of the employees in global capability centers are experienced candidate, especially. Okay. Now, when we recruit freshers, one of the things that we look at is very important factor is how well they are aware of the organization. Did they get prepared and came for the interview? Whether they are aware of our business values, our vision, okay? Have they read about the products that we sell and things like that? So I would recommend to all the freshers basically that you need to be uh, you need to understand the business context of the organization that you're uh, planning to apply for, which is very very important. The other thing is work culture. The work culture is little different from the Indian organizations, because most of the Indian organizations, they have set timelines. Okay, because our geography is entirely different. We work with across borders. So it is
Yeah.
also important that an individual should be adaptable to the time zones, which is very very important, because the time zones are totally different. You cannot tell that I cannot work in night shifts, or I cannot work in evening shifts and things like that. So that is very important. The second thing, the third point is your comm skills, basically your communication skills plays a very important role over here, because especially at GCC you might have to deal with global partners also.
Yeah.
So when you deal with global partners, your communication skills has to be little high in level. So when I say your communication, I'm not talking, you need to have that fluency of Shashi Tharoor kind of a language, but yeah, you should be able to communicate in a way that the opposite person understands. Okay, you need to be very concise when you're talking to someone, and you need to know how do you make it vivid when you're communicating with the team and things like that. The other very important thing is the behavior aspect, because as an individual you must have been born and brought up in a different atmosphere, but when you join global organizations, your behavior plays a very very important role. Even if you have a less skill sets, they will agree on it, but your attitude towards your behavior is very very important. Okay. Now when I talk about behavior, you need to be a team player. Okay, you cannot say that I would like to work individually. I don't want it anybody to micromanage and things like that, because micromanage is also a lot of times misunderstood. When somebody is trying to manage you, it means it's is actually trying to monitor and mentor you and or coach you basically. Okay, these things are very important, and every new joinee, every fresher should practice these things basically, but these are not taught in the colleges. There are few colleges basically who does this, but not every college does this. So my recommendation to all the freshers who wanted to apply, you need to have focus on these things, basically understanding the industry that you wanted to get into, have digital literacy a bit, not to the core, but yeah, at least a basic digital literacy is important, on the tools that you're going to use, on the tools that you have to work on, and try and understand also where you're applying what kind of uh, uh, technology that they use. So it gives you a little idea that you can also read about it and then attend for an interviews, Vijay.
Oh, okay.
You know, apart from that, cross culture is also one thing which is very very important, because you will be working with different functions and things like that. You need to also have a lot of patience for listening. Okay, and
Yeah.
adapt to the changing needs basically, which is very very important. We keep hearing about Gen Z that they like to do what they wanted to do, but it works, it is good, but I would also recommend that having a mindset that I can adapt, and I will adapt myself, or I will change myself according to the needs, according to the
Yeah.
situation, according to the people that I'm working with, which is very very important, Vijay.